Hello everyone, welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm broadcasting to you from Europe, Budapest, capital city of Hungary, where we're having a nice winter day. All right, today we are looking at some IELTS listening section, part 1 and 2, example, strategies. Yes, you'll have a chance for some answers as well. Hi Nair, hi Siva, good to see some students joining in. All right, our materials, they're coming from our websites as usual to improve your general IELTS band score. Definitely a good idea to visit us at gieltshelp.com. That's generalieltshelp.com. And if you're learning for academic IELTS, do check out our Academic English Help YouTube channel and our aehelp.com website. We separate the two modules of IELTS because we find it's generally very different candidates who take general versus academic. Of course, for general, people are looking to immigrate or move to other countries in most cases, get a residency visa, and for academic, it's usually students looking to study in university locally or abroad or looking for work. Hi Shanzeh, good to see you in class. All right, so again, you can get our exam books that we use in these classes. We have 6 original full IELTS practice exams with audio. You get internet access to that. You can get the books in paperback and digital form from Amazon Bookstore. Of course, they're also on our websites if you join the full course. Search for GE Helps General IELTS for General IELTS books, of course, and then AE Helps Academic IELTS if you're doing academic. All right. This is my email here, adrian@aehelp.com. That's actually for my academic IELTS. For students who are really targeting general, contact me at adrian@gieltshelp.com. It's even a better way to get a hold of me. Afsan Afrin is asking a good question. Is the listening the same in the general and the academic? Yeah, it is. Absolutely. Listening is the same for general and academic. Same with the speaking section. So when we're teaching listening and speaking lessons on our general IELTS channel, this one, it's good to attend. And when we're teaching listening and speaking on our Academic English Help channel, it's good for general IELTS students to check that out also. All right. Bichun says it doesn't work. I'm not sure what you're referring to, Bichun. If somebody is having trouble hearing me or seeing the digital display behind me, let me know. All right. So today, listening strategy. Tomorrow, we'll do some speaking part 3. Today, we will do speaking parts 1 and 2, and then next week, we'll do parts 3 and 4. So make sure to be in this class as well, and then you can get the full listening section. All right, let's just get going with some listening. So I don't want to just give you a sales pitch and hold you up. I want you to actually practice. So I will play the audio for listening section 1. So students, get a paper and a pencil ready. So please look for a paper or pencil so you can write down your answers. Please don't put the answers into the chat. It can confuse other students, especially if they're wrong answers. Give everybody a fair chance. We will go over the answers after. So just write them down on a piece of paper as you listen, just like in the real IELTS, and then you can put them in the chat after when we talk about them. All right. So the audio for our listening exams is found on our websites. This is our general IELTS website with the green background. Blue background is academic. Log in to your My Student account at the top there. And then after you logged in, you have lots of goodies. You have a full interactive course. You have practice exams in PDF form and in digital form. You have videos, and you have your audio CDs. So right now I'm going to open up the audio CDs. And we are looking at our test number 2 listening section. So it's CD2 track 1. I have the volume on my side maximum, okay? So maximum volume on the speaker, maximum volume on the computer. So if it's quiet on your side, please try to use a headset and turn up your volume, because I'm using a Bose speaker, which is high quality, and my microphone, but it's still not the same as on the website. Okay, here we go. Everybody's ready?
This recording is copyrighted by 2 Think One Solutions Inc. and World ESL Tutors. You will hear several different recordings and you will answer questions on what you hear. There will be time given to read the instructions and questions, and you will be given a chance to check your work. The recordings will be played only once. The test is made up of 4 sections. At the end of the test, you will have 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. Now turn to section 1. Listening section 1. You will hear a conversation between 2 men as one of the men buys a gym membership. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5. You will see that there is an example. This time only, the conversation relating to this question will be played.
Good afternoon. I'm interested in purchasing a gym membership.
Of course, sir. What length of membership are you looking for? We have options ranging from 1 month to 2 years.
Can I get one for 3 months? I don't want to make too much of a commitment.
Of course.
The man says he wants a 3-month membership, so this answer has been indicated for you. Now we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 5.
Good afternoon. I'm interested in purchasing a gym membership.
Of course, sir. What length of membership are you looking for? We have options ranging from 1 month to 2 years.
Can I get one for 3 months? I don't want to make too much of a commitment.
Of course. Before we can get you started on getting into shape, I'm going to need some personal details from you.
Certainly.
Let's start with your name.
William Bacon.
Bacon spelled the same as the breakfast food?
Yes. B-A-C-O-N.
Okay, William. Now I need your residential address.
Oh, please call me Bill. I feel odd being called William.
Okay, Bill. So your address then?
Right. I live at 1653 Spooner Street in Liverpool.
Oh, I know that street. My grandmother lived there when I was growing up. The street name is spelled with an A, is it not?
Yes, that's right. Spooner is spelled S-P-O-O-N-A-R.
And your postcode here in Liverpool?
PK387YQ.
TK387YQ?
No, PK387YQ.
Right. Now we need your date of birth.
April 9th, 1980.
And your telephone numbers, starting with your home number.
I don't have a home number, just a mobile number. It is 312-77-8391.
Fine then. Now, do you have any medical issues we should know about, such as asthma?
I have no medical concerns. I'm in perfect health as far as I know.
Now, I need to ask you a few questions to find out what type of gym membership fits your lifestyle the best.
There is more than one type of gym membership?
Oh yes, there are a number of different options. We have our most basic membership, which allows you to work out on the machines on the main floor of our town centre facility. Then there is our premium membership, which allows members usage of the machines on the second floor of our town centre facility, as well as access to our third floor lounge.
What is so special about the machines on the second floor?
Nothing really, but our gym is extremely busy and often the machines on the second floor are the only ones available. However, as I said, they are only open to the premium members.
Tell me about the lounge.
Our lounge is fantastic. The room is big, about 50 feet by 50 feet, and we have 2 large televisions and many comfortable chairs. There is also full bar service and a complimentary snack bar.
You now have some time to look at questions 6 to 10. Now listen to the rest of the interview and answer questions 6 to 10.
That sounds great. Are there any other membership options?
Yes, there is one more. We call it the Premium Plus membership, and it allows customers to use any of our gym facilities in the country.
So if I go to London or Kent or Newcastle, can I use your gyms there?
Well, yes, but we don't currently operate a gym in Newcastle. We do, however, operate a total of 22 gyms in England, not including this one in Liverpool.
23 gyms, that's impressive. What is the price difference between these memberships?
Well, at your 3-month level, the basic membership is £53. The premium is £84 and the Premium Plus is £95.
That's quite a step up from basic to premium.
Yes, but it's quite good value for the additional services and location options.
I'll have to think this over a bit before I make a decision.
Just so you know, Bill, we are running a promotion right now. If you sign up another person along with yourself, we will give both of you premium memberships for the price of basic memberships.
Wow, that's a great deal. I wonder who I should ask to join with me. Greg loves to work out, but he's already has a gym membership. I could ask Steve, but he's so busy with work all the time. I think I will ask my neighbour Kate. She's been trying to get back into shape after having her baby last autumn.
Wonderful. I will see you soon then.
Yes, you will. Sorry, I didn't catch your name.
It's Mike, and it was a pleasure helping you.
I will hopefully be in tomorrow with Kate. Does 11 work?
No, sorry, I'm not in until midday.
I will see you midday then.
That is the end of section 1. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
All right, so that, students, is a typical IELTS listening section 1 that you could hear in your exam. Okay, so you probably saw me do something interesting at the beginning during the instruction time. Maybe some of you thought I was losing my mind and looking for the right page or just scrolling like a crazy bat. But I promise you I wasn't. I was actually using a strategy there. What did I do? Before we go over the answers, we will look at the answers here, so don't worry. If you wrote them down, that's great. But just as a strategy, to start you off with a strategy here, a very useful time strategy, what did I do in the beginning when the instructions were going on? Afsana Afrin says, I was checking the other section topics. Yeah, that's right. Mohammed Kasiri says the same. Hi, Eugene. Good to see you in class. Always love your series of emojis, wave, panda, and smiley cat. Yes, that's right, Mohammed and Afsana. I was checking other questions. Specifically, I was looking for the topic of section 3 and section 4. Why? So during the 90-second instruction time, look at the topic of section 3 and 4. Do you know why I did that? So why was I checking the topic of section 3 and 4 in that 90-second instruction time? Now, students, sometimes in some IELTS exams, some of my students said, the proctor didn't let me do that. They said, please turn back to section 1, so I didn't really have a chance. But many students said, yeah, I did that, and it was really helpful. Pachu Yadav says, I was searching for topics and questions for section 3 and 4. Yeah, that's right. Sravana says, because it's too difficult, right? Shravan, I hope it's not too difficult, but it's more difficult. Students, be very careful with the too. T-O-O in English means like too much. Like in this case, if you say too difficult, it means it's impossible. Instead, I think, Shravan, what you want to say, because it's very difficult. Okay, a lot of students around the world learning English confuse the word too with very. Don't do that. Too is like too much, okay? So that's just a little side note. But you're right otherwise, Shravan. It's very difficult. So look at topic section 3 and 4 because these are more difficult than sections 1 and 2. Okay, absolutely. So what you want to do is you want to prime your brain for those ideas. Priming, okay? Just like if you paint your walls, you don't usually put paint on the wall right away. You put a primer that gets the wall ready for the paint, and then you put the paint on there. In the car or another motors as well, you use a primer before the gasoline so that it functions better. So same thing with the brain. You prime your brain for information. You get it ready for information. So this allows you to prime your brain for that information. Okay, the human brain, don't forget, students, and you probably guessed that my major in university was psychology. The human brain does a lot of thinking without you consciously knowing. So when you give it a piece of information, it will actually spin and work with that information without you actively thinking about it. Okay, so does anybody remember what section 3 and section 4 was about? Thanks, Farheen. Yeah, it's a proven strategy. Many IELTS students that use this said that they got actually half a band or a band better just from this one strategy. So, anybody remember? Okay, Afsana, good. So remember that section 4 was something about dinosaurs. Good. See, Afsana, so it's in there. It's in your brain. Yeah, absolutely. So our example here, section 4 about dinosaurs. And section 3 was, anybody remember? Mohammed says a university lecture. Yeah, you're close, Mohammed. Section 3 was about a student visiting a university professor. Okay, so you're close. You got the idea of university, so that's good. Okay. Okay, so section 3, student visits professor. Section 4 about dinosaurs. That's great. Even if you just get that 2 pieces of information and you prime your brain, it's fantastic. By the time you get to section 3 and section 4, your brain will have collected a lot of information from experience on those ideas. So excellent. Yeah, Afsana, that's right. Okay. All right. So that's a great strategy. Did anybody catch when I went back to section 1? It's very important to know when to go back to section 1 so you don't miss those easy questions. Did anybody catch that? What point in the instructions did I actually go back to section 1 and have a quick look at the questions there? Because you do want to review those questions before the audio. Did anybody catch that? Afsana says, while the example was playing. Yeah, absolutely. So go back to the section 1 beginning to review the questions. So go back to section 1. During the example, you still have, when they say the example, you still have about 30, 40 seconds before the first answer comes. So that's a lot of time to look at questions 1 to 5. Because remember, in section 1, section 2, section 3 of IELTS listening, you have 2 chances to review questions. For section 1, 2, and 3, you have time to review questions 1 to 5, about 20 seconds. And then you have another 20 seconds roughly to review questions 6 to 10. Careful, in section 4, you don't have that 2 chances. You only have 1 chance. That's another reason that this strategy is very, very useful, especially for section 1. Okay, so go back to section 1 during the given example. The example is only given for section 1. Okay. At this point, you still have 30 to 40 seconds to review questions 1 to 5. Okay, so practice that strategy at home when you're sitting down and you're doing your full listening exercises, whether with our exam books or with the Cambridge books or Barron's or Longman's books, doesn't matter. When you're doing your IELTS listening, practice this timing. Okay, practice this timing. Now, worst case situation, when you get to the IELTS exam and you try to look at section 3 and 4 during the instructions, the proctor, the examiner, the supervisor might say, hey, please don't do that. Please only look at section 1. But there is no rule. There is no strict, clear rule that says you cannot look at section 3 and section 4. So it's worth a try. I don't think you're going to get kicked out of your exam, so don't worry about that. Worst case scenario, the examiner will say, hey, please don't turn the page, keep to section 1. Best case scenario, nobody says anything. You have a good chance to look at those topics, get your brain going on it, and increase your band score with getting more answers correct in those difficult sections. Okay? All right. Welcome, Chigoziri Achamzie, to your first General IELTS Live class here. All right, so let's go through the questions and the answers now. I know some of you are anxious. You want to know what are the answers to this conversation between this salesperson or administrator and this individual, this man who wants to get a gym membership. So first, a few questions deal with a form completion. Very common for section 1. Section 1 is the easiest. Try to get 8, 9, 10 correct from 10, okay? If you're getting less than 8 correct in section 1, you really have to focus, all right? You shouldn't get less than 8. What's the name of this gentleman here? Shun Zai Khan says bacon. Guy's name is William Bacon. And yeah, the person says spelt like the breakfast food, like bacon and eggs, right? And that's right, it is bacon. Now, yeah, you can do bacon, or you can do it like Afsana did with all capitals, like this. So, bacon. This is correct. This is correct. If you write it with a small b, that's the actual breakfast food bacon. That's not the name. There's, of course, the very famous actor, Kevin Bacon. So, yes, it is a name. This type of answer would be wrong. Names are proper nouns, so they must have a capital letter. If you decide to write all capitals, just be careful about spelling, okay? It's easier to make spelling mistakes with all capitals. Double check your spelling during the time to look at your answers, during the time you transfer your answers to the answer sheet. And Mohammed Kasiri says the next one is Spoona, but it's not just quite Spoona, and it's not with a small s, Mohammed. It's with a big S because it's the name of a street. And you're close. It's Spoonar. Spoonar. Afsana, that's correct. Sabrain, that's correct. Shanzai, I think you got an extra A in there at the beginning by accident. So it's Spoonar. And again, they spell it. So Spoonar. Spoon, like what you use to eat soup. Okay, so there's your spoon. Spoon spelled S-P-O-O-N. And then the person even says with an A at the end, and then they say yes, and then the person spells it. It's spelled S-P-O-O-N-A-R. Be patient in section 1. In most of these situations with names of streets and people, they spell it for you at least once. Okay, so pay attention to that spelling. City is Liverpool. What's the postal code? The admin says, now I need your postal code. And then he makes a mistake even, I think. He says, is that with a T or something? And then the person says, no, it's with a P. So pay attention to those corrections. Afsana says it's PK387YQ. Sabrain, Sarag agrees with Shanzeh. And Mohammed says, Afsana's right. And Shanzeh is also in agreement with Afsana. So, yes, Mohammed, Sabrain, Shanzeh, Afsana, you're all correct. The answer is PK, so not TK, right? Person even says it's a P. PK387YQ. Now, just a word of caution, okay? When you're doing postcodes or addresses or any diction of numbers and letters, like a social insurance number or national ID number could have letters and numbers. I highly recommend using capital letters. You don't have to, but I definitely recommend using capital letters for the letter portions. It's just easier to read to make sure that it's correct, okay? Also, for numbers like 7, please be very careful that your 7 doesn't look like a 1, okay? If your 7 looks like this, and it's very difficult for the examiner to figure out if this is a 1 or a 7, then I definitely suggest doing a strike through on your 7 like that to make it a very clear 7. Some students, they try to get really tricky and they try to make a B look like a half B and a half D, or a 1 look like a half 7. And examiners get really tired about that. So if they can't read it clearly, if they can't tell that it's a 1 or a 7, they'll just mark it wrong. Okay? They're not going to be nice guys or nice girls in this case and say, oh, I'll give them the mark. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt that that's what they meant. No, they'll just mark it wrong. In their mind, they're professional and they're thinking, hey, don't toy with me. Either write it clearly or lose the mark. So careful with that, okay? Careful with that, all right? Okay, so write clear. That's just generally a good advice. If you have poor penmanship, so your writing looks like chicken scratch, that's what we say in English, chicken scratch, then practice improving your printing for the IELTS, okay? There's a lot of exercise sheets that you can find online to improve your penmanship, all right? Usually more true for guys than girls. Girls tend to have more pretty, beautiful penmanship. All right, residential number. So that's his phone number. What's the phone number that he gives? Good night, Surendra. Have a good sleep. Hoda Mahmoud says it's 312778. And then the rest of it, 391. Afsana says, nope, that's not his residential number. That's he doesn't have a residential number. Sabrin says none as well. That's the mobile number. So Hoda, notice that you've just rewritten the mobile number, which is already given. Okay. He basically says, I don't have a home phone. I just have a mobile phone. Is that okay? And then he gives it, and it's there. So none. Okay. Now, if you look at the instructions, it says complete the form below. So there is no one word only. You could probably get away with writing no number. Okay. It's a little bit more of a difficult answer to give, but you could say no number instead of none. It's possible. All right. Hoda, that's okay. And I'm not picking on you, Hoda. Just make sure to catch that during review time. Okay. That's the exact kind of easy mark that you can pick up when you're transferring answers to the answer sheet. Okay. Abhishek says, can we write no? Residential number no? I don't think you can, because no doesn't really make sense in that context. That's a good question. You could probably do this, NA. We actually do that in English. Anybody know what that means, NA? So when it's a none on a form, or it's we don't have an answer for it, then we'll write NA. Anybody know what that means? It's a good little interesting extra piece of information or knowledge in the English language. Might be new for many of you. Very good, Farheen. Yeah, absolutely. Abhishek, very good. Yeah, it means not applicable. 2 P's. Okay, not applicable. So when we're filling out a form, if we don't have that, then usually in the form we just write NA, just like this, not applicable. So that they would probably take because it does make sense. Okay, but I wouldn't write no. None is your safest bet. All right, let's keep going. So question 5 is just one question, and it's asking, what does the lounge look like? Now, I realize that this is white, so it's quite bright for you on the screen. But funny enough, you don't really need to see these pictures clearly to get the correct answer. You should be able to get the correct answer even if it's a little bit bright on your phone or your computer. Which one's the right answer? Is it A, B, C, or D? What does the lounge look like in this gym? Anybody remember? A, B, C, or D, and why? You should always be able to answer why when you make a choice like this in the listening section. So it shouldn't just be a lucky guess, but you should be able to say it's A because. Domingo Oropeza says it's A because. And Mohammed Kasiri says B. Shanzai says maybe B, the images are not clear. You don't really need a clear image to figure this one out. You can figure out that it's A even without the clear image. Why do we know that? Because the speaker, well, maybe Domingo, Emmanuel's asking, can I write null? Yeah, Emmanuel, for that previous question about the phone number, you could write null, N-U-L-L. Yeah, that's a good question, Emmanuel. That's why I went back to that. But yeah. Domingo says he describes a square area. That's right. He says it's 50 by 50. So he says it's 50 by 50 feet. So it has to be either A or C, right? It cannot be B or it cannot be D because these are rectangles. we know that the lounge cannot be a rectangle. It has to be a square because the speaker says it's 50 feet by 50 feet. What's the other point? That's right, Mohammed Kasiri. It has to be A or C. So we know right away that it cannot be B and D. It has to be a square. And then the speaker says there are many chairs. Chairs, chairs. This one you have one chair, one chair. I'm not sure how well you could see that, but if you can see these little boxes, they represent the many chairs in front of the television rather than just the one chair. So that's the difference between A and C, or these many chairs for seating. All right. So A was the correct answer there. Hopefully you got that. These are meant to be fairly easy questions. Don't overthink them, okay? Don't overthink them. Keep it simple. All right, and then here, question 6, this is just one question. So here, for question 6, you have a box on your answer sheet, like that. Okay, and you have to put 2 numbers here for B and C. So A is given. It says match the membership option with the benefit. Write the correct number next to the letter. So here it says A3. That's given. You don't need to write that into your answer sheet. So number 3 is access to the main floor. That comes with the basic membership. What comes with the premium membership? Is it 1 or 2? So access to the lounge or access to facilities around England. Okay. So Mohammed Kasiri says B is 1 and C is 2. Yeah, be very careful. Domingo Oropeza has the best version of the answer so far with B1, C2. Okay. If you leave out the B and the C and you do 1 and 2, they might give that to you, but to be on the safe side, I would do the answer like that. Okay, B1, C2. That will be a correct answer for sure. Okay, that's the most clear. You always want to pay attention that your answer is not just correct, but it's clear for the IELTS examiner. All right? I'm going to emphasize that for you one more time. And a good way to check that when you're preparing or practicing for IELTS is ask your teacher, ask your friend, are my answers clear? Can you look at them and tell me, do my answers look clear? Okay, so this is an important note. Make sure that you do not just give correct answers to your listening and reading section questions, but you also give clear answers. Okay, it's very important. And you know that by paying attention to the format and the question type. And the reason why I emphasize that is because IELTS, as I'm sure many of you realized, it's interesting in the way that there are a lot of different types of questions, okay? In the listening, there are 9 different kinds of questions, and there's quite a few different formats to see it. In the reading, there's 11 different types of questions. So you have 20 types of questions between listening and reading. Really important to be familiar with them, even if you have good English skills. Okay, it's just a simple way to save marks. All right, questions 7 to 10. Write no more than 2 words and or a number for each answer. So maximum 2 words and or a number. You could have 1 word, 1 number. How many gyms does the company operate in England? They give you a very, very clear answer for this one. Hoda says, I got this one. It's 23. Hoda, you're right. First out of the gates. Good for you. Yeah, 23. Okay. Great. And that's fine. If you write gyms, just make sure you put the S in there. You don't have to have this word because it's in there. Okay. So you have it in there, so you don't have to put this into your answer sheet, but it's okay. It's maximum 2 words. Just make sure you put S. If you don't put S, they'll mark it wrong. Okay? All right, number 8. What is the cost of the premium membership? How much does it cost, premium membership? What is the cost on that? Afsana, Hoda, both. Shanzai, third one, all in agreement, saying 84. And all 3 of you have done a very good job because you paid attention that the word pounds is given. That's kind of a weird situation in IELTS that sometimes they give you the word pounds or sometimes they'll give you the symbol pounds. In this case, only put the number. IELTS is checking to see how well you're paying attention. If you put pounds, there's a very good chance they'll mark it wrong. Or if you put 84 like that, they'll probably mark it wrong because you have pounds, which is weird, okay? So they're looking for accuracy. You don't want to make that mistake. So if you see the word pounds or the symbol, don't write the word or don't write the symbol. Same thing if you see the percent, don't write the word percent or add an extra percent sign, okay? They will mark it wrong. All right. So best answer there is 84. So far just 2 numbers. You can write the numbers, like you can write 23 like this as well. Okay, but you can easily make a spelling mistake, so it's much easier to just use the number. Okay, it says or a number. So I recommend not writing words, all right? Who is Bill going to ask to join him at the gym? Let's go to the next one. Hoda says neighbor Kate. Okay, good, Hoda. And you have 2 words, which is fine. Just the name is enough. Kate is good. Neighbor Kate is okay. They'll give it to you. Afsana, good. Now, Hoda, you've spelled everything right, but you lose the mark because the K is small. You have to make sure that K is big. Okay? So, Kate. Make that a very clear capital K. Okay? Kate. Big K. Okay? I'd hate to see you lose a mark, Hoda, for having such a good answer, but then having a small K. All right. What time is Bill meeting Mike the following day? Anybody? Last one for this listening section 1, part 1. What time is Bill meeting Mike the following day? Afsana says midday or 12 p.m. Very good. Yahyo Ganiev says midday. That's fine. Midday is spelt as 1 word. You don't need to capitalize that day, Abhishek. I find the easier answer is noon. Noon is a little bit more American English. Midday is more British English. But they'll take both. Okay, they'll take noon. So noon's a little bit less tricky to spell than midday. Because I bet some of you are thinking, is midday 1 word, 2 words, dash in the middle? What's acceptable? Instead of risking it, noon, or even easier is 12 p.m., okay? Or if you're doing a 24-hour clock, then you could do 12 o'clock. They'll take that, okay? They'll take 12 o'clock. It's arguable that on a 24-hour clock, they're meeting at 12. That's midday, okay? Always We Learn says noon was not mentioned in the recording, but that's fine because noon is a perfect synonym for midday. So if you have a perfect synonym, then they will take that, okay? Even if it's not mentioned. They have to. It'd be wrong to say that's incorrect. Okay, if somebody said, oh, that's wrong, it's midday, I'd say, well, hey, wait a second, it's the same. So IELTS will respect a perfect synonym as a correct answer, okay? So keep that in mind. But it has to be a perfect synonym, not just close. It has to be a perfect synonym. So careful. All right, or midday, right. Okay, so add up your marks. Hopefully you got at least 8. Hopefully you got 10, because the sections only get more difficult from here on out. Let's continue on with section 2. So pencil, paper ready. I will play the audio again from our website, gieltshelp.com. For o'clock, Domingo is one word. Okay, with the hyphen, o'clock is one word. Please, students, do not put your answers into the chat. Please wait until the end of the chat, or sorry, until the end of the audio. We'll go through the answers together, okay? Please don't write them in. Give everybody a fair chance, and please don't confuse other students with wrong answers potentially, okay? So wait until the end of the audio. We'll go over it together. Pencils, papers ready. Here we go. So I'm jumping back to our General IELTS website, and of course this is CD2 track number 2, because it's our test book 1, or yeah, test book 1, test number 2, second section. Here we go.
Battery, 70%. Section 2. Take some time to look at questions 11 to 16. Listening section 2. You will hear a recording of a travel show about tourism to Calgary, Canada. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 16. Now listen carefully to the interview and answer questions 11 to 16.
Hello, I'm Deborah Sloan and welcome to Hotspots, the travel show that highlights great tourist spots around the world. Today we have a representative from Calgary, Canada, who is going to tell us a little about the city.
Thanks, Deborah. Yes, my name is Robert and I'm going to tell you all about the wonderful city of Calgary.
Sorry, I hate to interrupt, Robert, but can you tell me exactly where Calgary is? I'm sure many of our viewers are wondering.
Sure. Calgary is the largest city in the province of Alberta, which is the second most western province in Canada. Alberta lies directly east of the province of British Columbia, of which Vancouver is a very well-known tourist destination, and directly west of the province of Saskatchewan, of which Regina is the capital. Canada is a very big place, and that is shown by just how far Calgary is from many of the other major Canadian cities. Calgary is over 1,000 kilometres from Vancouver, and over 3,400 kilometres from Toronto, Canada's largest city.
Canada is definitely a very spacious country.
Yes, indeed. Well, let me tell you a little about Calgary. Calgary is a beautiful city of approximately 1 million people, situated next to the Rocky Mountains. It is known most, perhaps, for the world-famous Calgary Stampede.
Is that with the cowboys and bull riding?
Yes, and it's held every July in the city. The Stampede attracts more than 1 million visitors each year from all over the world. It is referred to as the greatest outdoor show on earth. Another fact that Calgary is well known for is oil, which was first discovered in the area in 1902. With the boom in oil prices over the past 40 years, Calgary has seen its population grow from 400,000 in 1971 to over 1 million in 2007. In that time period, Calgary was by far the fastest growing city in Canada. Many sports fans will know that Calgary was host to the 1988 Winter Olympics, and to this day, Calgary remains a winter activity destination, with several world-class facilities dedicated to many winter sports, from bobsled to curling to speed skating and everything in between. One of Calgary's biggest icons is its hockey team, the Calgary Flames, who play in the National Hockey League, or NHL as it's better known. Well, they have been one of the more successful teams in the league during their 30 years in Calgary. even winning the coveted Stanley Cup in 1989.
You now have some time to look at questions 17 to 20. Now listen to the rest of the interview and answer questions 17 to 20.
On the cultural side of things, Calgary boasts a number of festivals during the year, including a fringe festival, a comedy festival, as well as the Calgary International Film Festival. Calgary is also home to numerous theatre companies, as well as the Calgary Opera, Alberta Ballet, and the Calgary Philharmonic Orchestra.
Sorry to interrupt again, Robert, but this programme is called Hotspots. So what's the weather like in Calgary? I've heard it's cold.
Yes, in the winter it can be quite cold, but in the summer it is also quite warm, with average summer high temperatures hovering around 23 degrees Celsius, while average winter high temperatures are around -2 degrees and routinely go down to -20. Calgary experiences something quite unique when it comes to the weather. It has these weather fronts called Chinook winds, which can blow through the city in the winter and temporarily raise the temperature by up to 15 degrees Celsius. These Chinook winds can last anywhere from a few hours to a few days, and they are welcomed with open arms by the people of Calgary. Calgary is also one of the sunniest cities in Canada, as well as one of the driest, which makes up for a lot of the cold weather. Honestly though, if you're looking for a winter getaway to a hotspot, as you say, Calgary is not the place to go. But if you are looking for a winter getaway that includes skiing or snowboarding or anything else done best in the cold weather, nobody does it better than Calgary.
Thank you, Robert, for that fascinating look at Calgary.
That is the end of section 2. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
And again, students, in that half a minute to check your answers, you should check your answers, make sure you didn't make any silly mistakes. You will have time to review questions in section 3, section 4. You should already know the topics from the instruction time, so save your marks in that review time. All right, let's go through questions 11 to 20. Here we go. All right, let's go through the answers together. So match the diagram with the choices given below. What are the two provinces directly west and directly east of the province of Alberta? They give you a compass with west and east. If you know your geography of Canada, this will be much, much easier. So what province is here and which province is here? Number 11 will be one of these numbers or one of these letters, and number 12 will be one of these letters. So you'll have two boxes in your answer sheet like this. Okay, 11, 12, and here you need to put a capital letter. All right. So what is it? Which province is directly west of Alberta? You get a bonus point. Why? Because I'm from that province. Okay. Farheen, Bagoom, yes, you got both of those right. You get your bonus point. You got my home province, right? Afsana Afrin says, hey, number 11 is D. It's British Columbia over here, yeah, and it's the Pacific Ocean over here. So number 11, it's British Columbia. It's my home province. I live in the capital city of British Columbia. Gold star bonus. Anybody know the capital city of British Columbia? And number 12, that was correct, Farheen. Saskatchewan has a very tricky spelling. Saskatchewan. It is a native North American word. B, Saskatchewan. So from west to east, it's British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario. Above Ontario, Quebec. And then we have our territories. Nunavut, Northwest Territories, and Yukon above. And then we have our maritime provinces way over on the east. All right. So good for those of you who got it. Okay, 11D, 12B, write capital letters so that's very clear for the examiner. Okay, and let's move on to question 13. All of those provinces are quite beautiful and very, very large. British Columbia fits about half of Europe. It's that big. All right. Number 13, 14. So again, it's 2 points, 2 marks. So you have box 13, box 14 in your answer sheet, and the actual IELTS says choose 2 letters, A to E. So the order doesn't matter. You put 1 letter in box 13, 1 letter in box 14. As long as you get them correct, you'll pick up the point. 1 million people is the number used to describe 2 groups in the recording. Now in section 2, they give you 2 marks for this, and it's a little bit easier. Similar questions in section 3 and section 4 will just be 1 question, and you have to put both of the answers into 1 line, and they have to be both correct to get the mark. So that's one way that section 3 and 4 are more difficult. So 1 million people is used to describe the population of Alberta, the population of British Columbia, the population of Calgary, the number of visitors to the Calgary Stampede each year, and the number of visitors to Calgary each year. Farheen says, well, for 13, we could throw C in there, the population of Calgary, and you would be right. Okay? So C, the population of Calgary is about 1 million people. That's right. Okay, very good. And Afsana, Afrin, and Farheen say that for 14, we could do D, the number of visitors to the Calgary Stampede each year. And you would be right as well. Okay, in the month of July. Farheen, you'd get 1 wrong, 1 right in this case. Okay. Yeah, interesting information. If you decide to visit Canada and you say, hey, I'm going to go check out Calgary, be sure that you book a hotel or Airbnb in the month of July, like 1 year in advance. Because as you can imagine, the city of Calgary goes from 1 million to 2 million people for 1 month. There are no hotel rooms available, let me tell you. During the month of July. So you will not be able to find even a box to rent for 1 night. So just some interesting fact there. Okay, C and D is correct. If you are annoyed by my extra little facts and tips, just let me know. I'll cut it out. Trying to make it fun a little bit. All right, here we go. Questions 15 and 16. Choose the correct letters A, B, and C. This is multiple choice. It's section 2, so the multiple choice is usually quite simple for section 2. Okay, it's only 1 2-word answers here. Which industry is Calgary well known for? In fact, all of Alberta is well known for this industry. And if you chose oil, you're right. Yes, Alberta and Calgary produce a lot of oil. There's a lot of oil in Alberta that gets extracted and then sent to refineries. Absolutely, oil. Okay, wheat, that's Saskatchewan and Manitoba. Those are huge wheat-producing provinces. Okay, number 16. Which of these events did Calgary host? The Stanley Cup, the Winter Olympics, or Expo 88? A, B, or C? Michael Irachukwu and Afsana are in agreement with Yahyo that it is B. Expo 88, Abdullah, I believe, was in Montreal. Winter Olympics. Yeah, the Winter Olympics were in Calgary in 88. They were in Vancouver in 2010. I was lucky enough to go to that Olympics in Vancouver because that is beside Victoria, my hometown. But the Winter Olympics have been held in Calgary. And super ultra bonus point. Vancouver had the 2010 Winter Olympics. Calgary had the Olympics in '88. And which other Canadian city has hosted the Winter Olympics? Anybody know? Just for a fun fact. So Winter Olympics have been in Canada 3 times. No surprise. Canada does have some great snow and ice. Vancouver most recently. Calgary. And don't cheat, don't quickly use Wikipedia or Google. Which other Canadian city has hosted the Winter Olympics? Abdullah says, maybe Toronto? Good try, Abdullah, but no cigar on that one. No cigar, Afsana. It's not Toronto. Guess the second largest city after Toronto, and you will be right, was Montreal. Montreal was the other Winter Olympics. So Montreal, Calgary, and Vancouver have been host to the Winter Olympics. All right. Question 17. Write no more than 2 words and or a number. Average summer highs in Calgary reach how many degrees Celsius? Shanzai Khan, I saw you put that answer up way before. You said, hey, Adrian, just stop giving me these fun facts and let's get down to the nitty-gritty answers. 23. Okay, so average summer highs in Calgary reach how many degrees Celsius? 23. Yep, they'll give that to you. And if you write 23 degrees Celsius, they'll give that to you as well. Okay, so Afsana Afrin, that's a correct answer also. You don't need this because they give you Celsius here. If they don't give you that, then you have to put it into your answer to make sense, okay? So that we're clear that it's not Fahrenheit, all right? Okay, ladies and gents, on to the last 3 questions here. Last 3 questions. Average winter highs in Calgary reach what 2 degrees? There's a missing word here. What word goes in there? This was fairly simple if you pay attention to the blanks. Average winter highs in Calgary reach minus. Hoda, make sure about your spelling. U, okay, not E. Minus, M-I-N-U-S, minus 2 degrees. So use the word here. Please don't use the line. I don't think they'll give that to you, okay? So use the word minus, not the symbol. The symbol's kind of confusing in writing, okay? Especially since this is a word, all right? So minus 2 degrees. Let's keep that in there. Put it up a bit. Here we go. Minus 2 degrees. Chinook winds can raise the temperature by up to 15 degrees Celsius and can last anywhere from a few hours to a few what? Days. That's right. And very good. Good job, Afsana. Good job, Abhishek. Good job, Shanzai. Because you have the S. Subrain, good job. You have the S in there. It's very important because of few. It's a plural. It has to be days. If you put just day, it will be wrong. Plurals, singulars are important in IELTS. Calgary is also one of the driest cities in Canada, as well as one of the what? It's one of the driest and one of the... So you know that it's going to be a superlative here. Sunniest. That's right. Sabrin with a small s. Sunniest, not wettest. Definitely not the wettest, Farheen. Wettest would be Vancouver. Calgary is very sunny. Sunniest. Okay? It's very sunny in Calgary. It's quite dry in Calgary. Gets a lot of sunshine. Gets good amount of snow in the winter, but it's usually just a heavy snow and then it's sunny. It's a sunny winter. All right, so minus days sunniest. Let's just check our answers. Make sure we didn't airball here. Jump to the answer sheet at the back of the book. You can count up your answers for sections 1 and 2. Let me see here. Just a moment. Okay, 161. All right, so here is your answers for section 1 and 2. Also, you'll notice that we do something really cool in our answer sheets. We give you the time where the answer is coming. So if you go back to the audio on the website, you can actually go back and listen to the audio between 2 minutes 16 seconds and 2 minutes 24 seconds to realize that this answer, bacon, is coming from that time range. So number 1, bacon. Number 2, spooner. Number 3, PK387YQ. Don't worry about the space. It's okay if you don't have that. Number 4 is none. 5, B1C2. Notice that's how they write it in the answer key also. 6, A2384, Kate. Notice that the answer key gives you noon as well instead of midday. Midday, noon, it's fine. 11, D12B. 13 and 14, the order does not matter. It's C and D. 15B, 16B, 17, 23, 18 minus 19 days, and 20 sunniest, okay? Next week, as I mentioned, we will look at sections 3 and 4 about going to see the professor and dinosaurs, but we have a few classes before then. For today, that's it, okay? Remember these strategies. Time strategy. Look at sections 3 and 4 during the instructions. Get an idea about the topic and the questions so that your brain has a chance to collect information on those topics. Don't just give correct answers, but give clear answers. If your answer is not clear, you will not get it right. If you want to contact me, you can contact me at adrian@gieltshelp.com. Okay, so adrian@gieltshelp.com. To get our fully interactive course, over 100 hours of video lessons, as well as 6 original practice exams, spend a couple dollars, support us, help you. Visit us, join the premium course, gieltshelp.com. It's great value for your dollar. If you're studying for academic IELTS, aehelp.com, okay? aehelp.com. You're very welcome. Afsana Shobhit Sain, welcome. Hoda, you're very welcome. Thank you. Great participation today, students. In 30 minutes, our next live IELTS class starts for academic IELTS. That's on our other channel, Academic English Help. You're very welcome, Eugen. So if you want to keep studying, don't worry. We have more IELTS coming for you. Different channel, Academic English Help, okay? And that lesson will be academic reading. So you can check that out. Tomorrow we are doing speaking part 3. So tomorrow's lesson, same time, speaking part 3. All right, ladies and gents, that's it for me for now. For today, I send you good vibes, lots of love, and study hard. Your dreams will come true. Believe in yourself. We believe in you. Bye for now.